I say this with a sense of responsibility and a pain in my heart. Didn't they say they had a sack full of evidence against that former Delhi chief minister, a lady chief minister? A sack full of evidence. We can send her to the jail. That much material I have on her corruption. I want to ask, where is that sack now? Where is that sack full of evidence? It was all false claims. They went on speaking about it and somehow distracted the minds of the people. Today, they are talking about those companies for whom resolution is being made possible so that the economy can benefit. I don't know whether the sack full of evidence was evidence at all. Assume they were evidence. Why are you not using it now? And this party, which Honorable Sanjay Singh represents, didn't do any of that, gave false promises. If anything, I would like to ask him, it's an allegation which is now in the court. How much loss has the Delhi's government exchequer has faced because of the faulty liquor policy? It is a matter of the court. But I'm asking, you're worried about the haircut? You're worried about how much government of India and the public money is being lost because of the haircut? I'm asking, how much did Delhi government lose because of your faulty policy, liquor policy? So when this is there before honorable member, I would want him to have some kind of a discretion to understand what exactly is going on. Sir, finally, there's been this point about this cancer medicine, about which, of course, even the first speaker, Vivekji's mentioned. But Harish Biran of the IU, you raised the point about the cancer drugs should be made custom duty-free, and all cancer-related machines should also be exempted. I want to say, sir, our approach since 2021 has been that we progressively relieve all the life-saving drugs and medicines which are particularly imported for personal use. We've already exempted all of them. And there are many more steps taken. That particular name, I remember, Zolzheng Ma and Wiltip So have been the spinal muscular atrophy, about which Honorable Member Vivek Tanka spoke, have all been now removed from the burden of customs duty, sir. So I suppose with that, I would have addressed most of the issues, except for the 4 questions of Jairam Ramesh, sir. The 4 engines, about which 1 engine I had already spoken. Private investment is stagnating, his feeling. I want to highlight the fact, sir. Private sector investment has been increasing since the pandemic. It is rising from 3.8 lakh crore in the pandemic year 2020-21 to 4.9 lakh crore in 21-22 to 6.1 lakh crore in 22-23. So gross fixed capital formation, which is an indicator of investment and new value added to the economy, it is expected to be the largest GDP growth driver in this year. And therefore, with a percentage contribution of 44.9%, the GFCF is a real instrument through which we are seeing faster growth since the pandemic induced contraction set in. Also, sir, by private non-financial corporations, the gross fixed capital formation increased from 24.17 lakh crore in 21-22 to 28.95 lakh crore in 22-23. 19.8% increase at current prices. So that answers about one of the engines, sir. The other engine I had already spoken about. I'll talk about the manufacturing in particular. That is by itself, it is part of the engines which have to work. Gross value added at 14.3%. And that is in February financial year 23, and an output share of 35.2% during the same period. Manufacturing gross value addition grew by 9.9% in 23-24. So the high frequency indicators performance, such as the HSBC India Purchase Manager Index PMI for manufacturing, which has been expansionary for 36 consecutive months, which is 3 years, it is expanding in the expanding territory only. This has to be contrasted, sir, with the situation under the UPA, when manufacturing activity stagnated for 8 consecutive months in 2013, that is May 13 to December 13, it was only in contraction territory. Whereas now, we are seeing for 36 months, it is only in the expansion territory. And it is therefore no surprise, sir, that in the budget speech, interim budget speech of 2014-15, the year when elections happened and the regime was changed, meaning government was changed, the finance minister then had said, and I quote, "Manufacturing is the Achilles heel of the Indian economy. The deceleration in investment in manufacturing is particularly worrying," unquote. That's the quote then. Whereas now I'm showing you how GVA, PMI, all of them are doing well. So we've also come up with a PLI scheme for 13 sunrise sectors. Even that is bearing results. Telecom, particularly telephone manufacturing, I don't need to elaborate on that, sir. Defense production is another area in which we are really doing very well. Under our government, total defense exports during 2004-5 to 13-14, which was earlier government, was only 4,312 crores, whereas what it is now, total defense export is 88,319 crores for the period between 14-15 and 23-20. The last point, sir, is the private consumption. Is that stagnating? No, it's not stagnating. It is actually, if you take the indicators, sales of passenger vehicles increased by 8.4% year on year. Highest ever mark is 4.22 million. The Indian aviation industry has recorded its highest ever domestic passenger traffic for a half year. Between January and June 2024, Indian airlines, meaning airlines in India, carried 79.35 million passengers. It is also reported that the rural growth, sir, particularly of two-wheeler industry, domestic two-wheeler, because if I talk of passenger vehicles, they'll say, oh, you're talking of SUVs. No, I'm talking of two-wheeler. The domestic two-wheeler industry for the year 24 witnessed a total sales volume of 17.97 million units, reflecting a growth of 13%. Three-wheeler sales, which is largely used by small businesses, registered best ever sales of nearly 6,32,500 units, which is a 57% growth. All this cannot happen if the rural demand is not high. So I think I've largely answered most of his questions. Rural wages are not stagnating. Rural wages rose at about 5% every month year on year, 23-24. Agriculture's wage rates have grown it grew by 7.4% for men and 7.7% for women. So with that, I think, sir, I've answered most of the questions. No, thank you very much, sir.
I have taken note of. I'll go. Honorable members, normal practice is that after there is reply, I go to the next item. Since the Honorable Minister has volunteered to respond to the issue related to levy of GST on policies, I will give that extraordinary permission with a caveat that this will not be a precedent. Otherwise, the good gesture of the Honorable Finance Minister will always be a problem for any chair that at that point of time, this was allowed. So before I call upon Derek O'Brien, sir, my request is specific pointed issue with respect to levy of GST on policies. No, Arvind. Anyone disturbing, we have reached a consensus outside also. Anyone who disturbs a speaker forfeits several privileges. Please, only Derek O'Brien and the Honorable Minister to respond. No one else. I'll come to you, John Bittas, later on. Yes, sir.
When you said that after the minister responds, extraordinary that the member of the opposition can ask for a clarification.
I didn't say that. Let me be clear.
Or words to that effect.
No, 1 second.
Yes,
because 1 second. I'll give you. What I said is very categorical. What I say is, number one, this is not a practice emanating from chair. Number two, it does not create a precedent. Number three, it has happened because the Honorable Minister has volunteered. And number four, because the chair has agreed. It does not lie with any of members here. So that is clearly understood. You may now ask pointed question or questions.
Before I ask that, sir, all of us sitting here also indulged for 1 hour, 12 minutes. We made 3 attempts to request the minister to yield, and through you, sir, because the minister did not yield, we did not press for it, we sat down. That was also a precedent that the minister would yield. But, and it's fair enough, she's more comfortable in a flow of 1 hour, 12 minutes. We did not push for the minister yielding, sir.
Yes, good. One second.
God.
No, I allow you. In this also, since we are moving in a, one second. Honorable members, since we are moving in a decorous groove, we did excellently. But the best practice still would be that if the Honorable Minister is on legs and someone wants to intervene, raising of the hand is good enough. Standing is against the rules. So you said then you took the seat. So let us follow those. Now, Derek O'Brien can ask what he seeks to ask with the Honorable Minister straight, through me.
Through you, sir. Sir, 45 crore Indians, let me finish. I did not disturb anybody.
No one can interrupt. I'm here.
Thank you, sir.
No one will interrupt you.
45 crore Indians, we call, are the middle class, affected by this 18% GST from health and medical insurance. This is not something which was brought here by Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman this year. I conceded that in my speech. So this is not we win, you lose, we win. No. This was there since 2017 when the shift took place.
She said, Honorable Minister.
Yes, it was there even before. It is not about what happened before 2014 or not. Whatever be that, it has been brought up this time in Parliament. Unfortunately, the Finance Minister used a phrase today, but you can consider and remove it, quote unquote, some chief minister. She's more than some chief minister. Sir, some chief minister is a little dismissive, but I'm not making a point because it's not about point. Sir, hear me out. Sir, please hear me.
Please. No, honorable members, please. And now please ask the question.
Right, sir.
Ask the question.
So for these 45 crore Indians who want this to be taken out, which was there from 2017, this is our first point. We also know a little that this can't be done in Parliament. It has to be done to the GST Council, and that's my point. And that is where the minister has told us the composition of the GST Council, which we are also aware. But I want to ask the minister with these 3 sentences, is there anything which I'm saying which is incorrect about the GST Council in its present form? 1, the union government has a weightage of 1/3 voting weightage in that GST Council, union government on its own. The GST Council is made up of members, one state representative per state, 1 member per state. My point is, sir, 2/3 of those states are run by the NDA government. Sir, leave these technicalities aside, leave it aside. who wrote, who didn't write. For these 45 crore Indians, please consider removing the health, because it's not only about one member, two members. So that is one. And the second I'm not even making an issue about was the white paper on my state, because the white paper was not mentioned, so it will remain a blank paper. That's fine. That's all, sir. Thank you.
John Bitas, you can answer both together.
Yes.
Like you have done on the bills.
Sir.
Both the bills together. Dr. John Bitas.
Sir, to put the matter in correct perspective, I will segregate this into 3 points. First is that when you are talking in terms of yielding, there is a practice, sir. 1 second, sir. There is a practice here. Ministers are at liberty to intervene when members are speaking. They are at liberty. But when members want to intervene, they will never yield. It should be even. It should be even.
Take your seat.
Sir, first part. Second part.
Derek obliged me. You do. I have never, ever interrupted a member unless he has yielded even for ministerial intervention. Intervention by minister or a member depends on the speaker, whether he is a member or a minister. John, now make your point.
Sir, you understood what I meant, right? Sir, you understood and the whole house understood what I meant.
Good, fine. Go ahead.
Second point is that, see, with regard to petroleum products, we all know that the states have to agree. But minister has made statements that if the states agree, I am ready. In that case, my question to the Honorable Minister is that, what is the perspective of the union government? And the third part, sir, is that she made a statement by saying that without the permission of Gadkari ji, someone put out that. Is it the version of Honorable Minister Mr. Gadkari or her version?
Honorable Minister, you are requested by the chair, unless you so opt, to respond to the issue raised by Derek O'Brien. Because I had allowed issue related only to policies, and Derek has raised issues directly on policies. Please. John Bitas has digressed. Derek.
Sir, the composition of the GST Council is what I said, and that's what was repeated by the Honourable Member. 1/3 is centre, 2/3 is states, and then to say, oh, the states, 2/3 of that 2/3 is all BJP ruled. I've also named, and in the GST Council also, sir, since 2017, decisions except once were all taken on consensus basis. They have never been in a dispute. No state looks at it from the point of view, I come from this state and therefore I can't accept this particular tax proposal. In fact, there the question is, how do we deal with taxation, revenue collection, and not burdening people? That is why, if item by item, I'm willing to sit with any honorable member who wants, or even come to this house, item by item, I will compare with what prevailed as tax before GST and what it is now, to say it is lesser than what it was before GST. So there is no divergence of view in the council, except for once, sir. There has never been this issue of, oh, we all belong to BJP, we are doing one decision, others do. No, we never. And I respect the GST Council for that very good, amicable environment that they provide.